Hey everyone, Pat Mesiti here, and I'll just wait for a few people to jump on in. I've been sitting on this message for a while, a couple of days, wanted to come earlier and talk to you all, but I kind of wanted to wait to see if, our Prime Minister might show up at some point, come out of the bunker, or wait to see whether there'd be any movement in the lockdowns, which in Sydney have just gone another extra week. Today I've actually scripted a fair amount of this, and thank you to everyone, the literally thousands and thousands and thousands of you that are sharing this on Facebook, Instagram, whatever other platform you've got. To the haters out there, thank you as well. You've only refired my resolve, and again, those of you out there that want to make derogatory comments, you'll be blocked and you'll be deleted. And if it's anything liable, I will come after you, just to let you know. My lawyers will come after you. So if you don't like what I say on this platform, go on another one. There's plenty of them. But to those of you that are the supporters, and those of you that are the lone voices, those of you that are screaming out for some sense and sensibility, and thank you, Jess and Naomi, Louise and Pete and so many of you, Gabriel, thank you out there. If you want to let some people know that, hey, we're coming on. I want to start this. I'm going to tell I'll be here for about 15 minutes, so it's not going to be a short, sharp. But I want to ask some questions. I want to ask some questions to those out there who think we're a bunch of conspiracy crazy or right-wing fundamentalists or just anti-vaxxers. And by the way, I want to make it abundantly clear. I'm not giving my opinion on vaccine. You all have yours. I'm entitled to mine. Because I've got to be careful that I get shut down, my business and everything shut down because of the, fact checkers. And so I have my own person. This is not a time for a personal opinion of mine. What I'm trying to bat for here is your freedoms, our legitimate freedom is not given by government. Freedom is given by God. Freedom of speech, freedom to worship, freedom to be who I am. And I want to ask some hard-hitting questions. But before I do that, let me just ask this. Where's Scott Morrison gone? Scotty, where are you, mate? You came out through the nation in confusion, pushed your mandate, which you can't do through the Commonwealth or through federal part. So you got to do it through the states. Now, you and your friend, well, not you, but Anna wants to fly to Tokyo. Two things. I'm happy for her to go as long as we give her a one-way ticket. Just put a ha-ha in the chat if you think that's funny. Number two, Anna, why would you want to go to Tokyo to bring the Olympics here? You're not letting anybody in the state. We're not letting anybody in the nation. Well, by the time it comes around 2032, yeah, that's what you told us 18 months ago. That's what you guys said 18 months ago. 2 weeks to flatten the curve. We're still here. We've flattened the economy. We've flattened the houses of God. We've flattened 9 suicides a day. 9. Do the math. 9. And yes, I am angry. I had a preacher this week. I won't mention his name, but golly, I'd like to. Say to me, just an emotional rant. This coming from a guy who's never built a thing and everything he touched shrunk. I've also had some preachers reach out and say to me, we need your help. We need your help, Pat. Be the voice. Some of them took me out for lunch this week and said, can you please be the voice because we can't? Well, yes, you can, but I understand your position. So I will be the voice for those that want to be heard. Can you please get on there, guys, and tell people, hey, Pat's on and he's ready to roll, because I've got some serious questions. But Anna wants to leave and go to a country where there are 545 new cases, where there have been over 14,000 deaths, 810,000 with coronavirus. Oh, but she's been vaccinated. Oh, that's right. She got vaccinated. That's right. Remember the first one she got, it was a flu shot, but now she's got the vaccine. I'd like to raise a question. In Sydney, they've raised hell and locked down a city over a few cases and over a few elderly people in a nursing home that got COVID. Watch this, through the vilified and the demonized, who the media is doing that right now. They've demonized these nurses who didn't get a jab and then passed on COVID. I want to raise a question here. These elderly people were vaccinated. They were vaccinated. Yet we have vilified, including the daughter of these elderly people, or one of them anyway. Why isn't there questions raised about why aren't we vilifying the vaccine? Why aren't we vilifying the people that injected the vaccine? How come we're demonizing these people? Scott Morrison, you said last year it would not be mandatory. As of today, and I've got, sadly, I've got some of my notes, I forgot to bring them. Now they're saying not only do healthcare workers need to be jabbed, not only do now disability workers need to be jabbed. I got a letter from a concerned Christian young lady. You listen to me, you preachers out there that are willing to take the tithes and offerings off everybody, but you're not willing to stand up for their rights. This young lady paid her way through college or nursing. She's so heartbroken because she got a letter, and I won't mention her name, although I have the letter there, and the pastor who watches this knows I'm telling the truth, that until she gets jabbed, they will not graduate her and they will not allow her to practice. I want to ask Mr. Morrison a question while you and Anna go to Tokyo. What are you going to do to the 30 and 20% of people that are not going to get the jab? Scotty, Christian Scott, Pentecostal, tongue talk at ACC, you go to their conference, you know, and they say, you're one of us, you're not one of me at all. We're not all in this together. We're not all in this together. Scott, we're not. You're using the church as a platform to get elections. That's what you're doing, Scott. Now, you lied to us before, and yes, I am calling you a liar. And I'm not out of place because it's on record. Your health minister, Greg Hunt, calls this a trial. I'm going to raise some questions in a minute. Yes, we are angry at you, Mr. Prime Minister, and we have a right to be. You're not answering questions. Scott, you came out with a 4-part plan. You did not give a date for us to get out of lockdown. If you were working for my company, I'd fire you. You all know in corporate and in business, you've got to have a plan with specific time, or at least close thereof. If you can't get the timeline, you may move. But give us a timeline, Scott. You won't give us one. Scott, you're not answering the questions. What are you going to do, Palaszczuk, Scott? What are you going to do, Dictator Dan? What are you going to do, Mark McGowan? Gladys, what are you going to do with the 20-30% that refuse to be vaccinated, as is their choice? My body, my choice. What are you going to do? Tell us now. What are you going to do to us? What freedoms are you going to remove from us? What restrictions are you going to place on us? But you still want me to pay tax, right? You still want me to pay tax in a free country. Sorry, that country escaped a long time ago. What are you going to do with us? Tell us now. I'm going to challenge all of you. Write to your federal members. Harass them. What are you going to do? Force the issues. If they told us 12 months ago we'd still be here, Sydney $1 billion in losses, we have nationally 9 suicides a week, and where's Scott Morrison? At least Boris Johnson says July 19th we're going to relook at it. And don't tell me it's all about the vaccine. Singapore's got their freedoms. Private schools are getting jabbed. 160 preppy kids got a jab. What happened to the elderly and the vulnerable? Scotty, you lied. Here's what I suggest. The politicians forgo their salaries until we get out of this mess. Dictator Dan falls down the stairs. He's sitting there wherever he is, still controlling everything. Until we get, how about we do this? You politicians that are paid, until you get us out of this mess that you created, you should forgo your salary. Stop demonizing people that don't want to get a vaccine. I'll get to that in a second. I'd like to ask you, if 18 months ago, we would have looked down the barrel and said you'd still be in the same lockdowns now, worse, faster, with not one death. Not one. You know what you called us people last year? You called us conspiracy theorists. You called us crazies. You proved us right. Now, I'm not telling anyone what to do to get a vaccine or not get a vaccine. I want to make that abundantly clear. But let me ask some serious questions to our leaders, our prime ministers, and our woke pastors who don't have enough power in them to blow out a candle on a birthday cake. I've had call day after day from pastors of small churches. You see, you big churches, you ACC guys and all of you, now I'm not scared to mention you, you're good enough vilifying my name around the place. You promoted my errors, but you never promoted my restoration. You never did that. And yeah, I am angry at that because you want to spread the bad news and vilify everybody. What you have legal departments that your people in your churches pay tithes and offerings to, and you pay dues to. Why aren't you using your legal departments to fight this? The only reason they have their freedoms in America is because guys like Rodney Howard-Browne, John MacArthur, Pastor Che, they challenged the government and they took them to court and they won. And they won. For those of you that are pastors that are concerned about the quietness of your leadership, leave the denomination. Tell them you're packing your bags and you're going. Stop paying dues. For those of you in church out there, find another church. Go find someone or a leader who's got enough guts to stick up for your freedoms. And I know right now I've just shut down about 90% of my minister friends. But I'd rather work with a 10 to 15%. Maybe it's the same 10, 15% that have got problems with the trial. Leave them. Stop giving to them. That'll get their attention because they're all concerned about their fringe benefits stuff. Where did we learn to give up our freedom, have to wear a mask in church? I've been walking around without one. You know why? Jeanette Young told me, you struggle with anxiety, have problems breathing, you don't need to wear a mask. Come and get me. Pat, they're going to fine us. Let me tell you something. I had a minister say to me, Pat, people are scared of the fines. You've paid enough in tithes and offerings over the years, should get you out of there. That should get you out of there. Come on. Oh, Pat, you're ranting. I'm actually right. Your people have sacrificed and given to buildings they can't worship in, to houses where they cannot sing in, and yet you still continue to raise special offerings, emergency offerings, building offerings. For what? A building I can't go into? A building that I've got to do a QR code to get in? But I digress. So my advice is pack up your bags, find out another place to worship. Or, hey, join me on Sunday, 8 a.m. I'm online. I'll open my doors to everybody that wants to get online. I don't have a building because the God I serve doesn't live in a building. 8 questions I want to ask those of you, or not 8, but a few questions. If you could please tell people out there, come and join us. I want to ask some serious questions. And I want you to ask these questions as well. Question number 1. Has the TGA and the FDA, both here in America, got it right with all the medicines that they've rolled out over the years? Have they got 100% proficiency and clean record? Please tell me. You know the answer. No, they don't. In America, when you go to the United States, and by the way, I want to thank Jonathan Shuttleford for helping me with this, by the way. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you for giving me permission to share. Great man of God. The TGA and the FDA, if they got it right. Now in America, nearly every third, fourth commercial is about, have you suffered injuries? From medicines that the FDA gave the thumbs up to. The TGA in this country, have they rolled back medicines? Have they pulled medicines off the shelf? Have they changed and put warning stickers? Has there been lawsuits against any of these pharmaceutical companies? I want to ask that. Has it been a perfect strike record? And you're wondering why we don't trust you? You're wondering why we're concerned? Second question I want to ask you. Do you think your messaging, Mr. Prime Minister, Gladys, Dan, Mark McGowan, do you think your messaging, preacher, priest, is flawed? Well, let me give you a history of the last 18 months. Fauci. Masks don't work. Oh, masks work. Please now, you must double up. Let me give you another one. No, Mr. Morrison, last year in June, you said the vaccine will not be mandatory. Mr. Morrison, Mr. Scott Morrison, Anna, Dan, Jeanette. Hang on the messaging. You know what? If you're over a certain age group, this vaccine will work. Under, this one will work. Jeanette, you said, Mr. Morris, all of you. Now you can all go get vaccinated. You know, if you want Astra or whatever you want, go get it. And yet, Jeanette, you said the other day on public television, you don't want an 18-year-old dying from taking a vaccine. Wow. Your messaging. Well, take the shot and you'll be given the freedoms that the shot gives you. How many of you out there know people that have taken the shot and they've been locked down? Let me ask you this. Your messaging. Preachers and priests out there. You're telling your people you love them, and yet you mock and vilify and persecute the ones that have a different or dissenting opinion to you. You get up there on your pulpits and talk about being shot here and shot there, and yet the very people in your church that you hurt by those statements that you guys make. You think that's helping your messaging? This message of we're all in this together, I don't think so. You're constantly changing of your message. Watch this. Makes you lose credibility. On the one hand, my preacher friends go, fear not, wear a mask. Fear not, but wear a mask in church. Some of them are going out there going, love your neighbor, wear a mask. I'm not going to any church where it makes me wear a mask. I'm not doing that. Number 3, third question. Number 1, was there a problem? Do you think there's a problem with these TGA and FDAs? Number 2, and by the way, please share this before they try and shut us down. Number 2, do you think your messaging has been flawed? Do you think it's been consistent? Please tell me. Please tell me if you think it is. Come on. Do you think it's flawed? Or do you think it's constantly changing? And if it's constantly changing, why? Number 3, do you think your poster boy messengers are loved by everybody? When your messenger people are the people that are deplatforming Christians, when your messenger people are people that are committed to culling populations, do you think the rest of us, the 50% of us out there, do you think we trust you when you're pulling out Gates, Sleepy Joe, Biden? I got them 179 trillion. And that's the leader of the Western world right now. When you roll out Biden, Palaszczuk, Jeanette Young, Mark McGowan, people who are not committed to life, and they're not committed to life. They're pro-abortion, they're pro-euthanasia. Oh, but they don't want people to die from COVID. I'll leave that one alone. You're not committed to this side. You're not. And when you start rolling out Gates, Clintons, Palaszczuk, now Gladys, sadly, do you have any idea how despised someone like Bill Gates is? I think the order of despising has gone from Satan as number 1 to Gates as number 1 and Lucifer number 2. Now, that's a joke. Some of you are going to write to me and tell me you shouldn't have said that. Do you have any idea? And you want us to trust this? These proponents of fear? These control freaks? These people that have got no qualification? What made Bill Gates the senior health officer of planet Earth? Apart from the fact that he funds Woo and he's got some of his best mates over there in his back pocket. Now, please be careful of your comments because I don't want to get people, putting stuff up here that's not true. Do you think rolling them out convinces us? Next question. What happened to the right of free choice? My body, my choice. Now, when it comes to abortion, they're going to scream that one. Anna, Palaszczuk, Jeanette Young, all of them. Mark McGowan. I don't know what Glarus's position is. I don't even know what my Prime Minister's position is. I would have thought he would have had a position on that, but we won't go there. Let me just reassure you, when it comes to my body, my choice, whether I get jabbed or not, How come the rhetoric, the narrative doesn't apply to me? Do I not have the right? Listen to me. We are being treated like disease-carrying factories, and we are not. This is the first time in history the healthy have been quarantined. First time. Never happened before. The flu. How many deaths from the flu? You don't see those numbers anymore. How many deaths from suicide? Well, that's not a contagious disease. You reckon? You reckon mental health is not contagious? It's not part of genetics? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, Mr. Primer? Are you kidding me, Jeanette Young and the rest of you? When the vaccine is out, it'll be your ticket to freedom. Well, the vaccine's rolled out and the lockdowns are coming faster and harsher with no deaths. And now, stick and carrot. 18 months from now, we were told last year, we'd be able to re-enter society. You called us, you were calling you out, conspiracy theorists. But now you proved us right. You proved us right. Let me ask you another question. And I want everyone to listen. Come on, just give me a yes if you're listening in the chat. Give me a yes if you're listening. Because this is really powerful. Out of all the questions I want to ask, this is the most pertinent. Listen to me. If you think we are fools, I want to ask you a question, or a bunch of crazies. Have there been no issues with the vaccines? Answer me. Have there been governments that have kicked some of these vaccines out? Have there been deaths? Tell us how many. In Australia, TGA reports 3 known cases. I can tell you right now of nurses here that call me, email me, and text me. One lady said to me, they vaccinated 5 people. 5 people after they got the jab. Well, you fill in the blanks. In America, they say 5,000 deaths. Here, the TGA represents 3 known. We don't even have 3 deaths from COVID. If that was any other medication, you would have blacklisted it and taken it off the market. But they say there are 355 other cases and we're not sure. Oh, yeah, I heard that, Reddit. What about last year, the people that died with COVID, not of COVID? You see, the argument falls short when it doesn't fit the narrative. Have there been seizures? Answer me, yes or no. Come on, TGA, come on, FDA. Have there been miscarriages? Have there been blood clots? I would if I could, but I can't put on this platform a video of a mother sharing the story of her and her children and what happened after she got the shot. Again, I'm not telling you whether to get it, whether to not get it. My opinions are mine. But have there been any issues with the vaccine? Answer me yes or no. Because if it was any other type of medicine, you'd have pulled it off the market. Next one. Scott Morrison, Palaszczuk, Mark McGowan, Gladys Berejiklian. And by the way, I want to get back to that. If there's been issues with the vaccine, why aren't the preachers speaking up? Come on, some of these vaccines are made from stem cells or whatever it is, and don't go correcting me. I'm not here to be the know-all of everything. Weren't they created from live aborted fetuses? I don't know. I'm asking the question. I'm just asking. Are they? I'm just asking. I'm not accusing. I'm asking. What's your long-term data about the vaccine? Can you give me the long-term data? No, you can't. You know why? There is none. This is the trial. And you want people like guinea pigs to line up when you haven't answered the question. Has there been issues? What are they? Name them. Go public on that. I dare you, Scott Morrison, to have enough guts to tell us the truth. Come on, you're our Prime Minister. How many have died? Real numbers. Real numbers. Gladys, Jeanette, Mark McGowan, Dan Andrews, come on, get up there at 11 o'clock in your rant when you're instilling fear every morning at 11 o'clock. It's the fear drill. Rally around, people. Where's the long-term strategy? Greg Hunt, you said this was a trial. Number 7. Do you think when you ban, vilify, deplatform, silence, block, shadowcast an opposing and dissenting voice, do you think that scares us, or do you think it galvanizes us? Do you think you're going to win us over when our freedom of speech has been taken from us? Do you think that's worked? Don't you realize in the early church, listen to me, preachers, you talk about revival, here it comes. You talk about changing the city, well, here's your shot. Who is scared we're going to be in prison? Join the queue. Daniel, Paul, Peter. You want the miracle of Acts, but you won't do the standing up of Acts. Me? I've got nothing to lose. They'll fine us. Why don't you get your legal departments to create, why don't you get your congregations to create a fund with a class action lawsuit against some of these despots? You can do it. That's right. You won't rise up until the FBT, your fringe benefits tax, get touched. Don't you realize when you do this, when you shut us down, vilify us, persecute us, number one, we don't trust you, but don't you realize that when they shut the church down, when they persecuted them in Acts, they multiplied. They multiplied. Do you think you're going to win us over, Scott Morrison, now? Do you think your non-woke Christians are going to vote for you, Mr. Morrison? Two things happened. You kill us, we multiply. You bury us. Listen to me. I want you to hear this. I want everyone to hear this. They tried to bury us, but they forgot we were seeds. You know why your churches are half empty? It's not because of COVID, and it's not because of the government. It's because the people are tired of you not standing up. My priest, minister, and preacher friends. I'm watching them. I'm watching some of the streams that I see. People are sending me videos of church half empty. For a building they can't worship in. They're not turning up because they don't trust you. Now, I've broken trust in my life, and I know what it's like to get that trust back. Listen to me. I have to be careful what I say because these platforms can shut me down. Why is it that I have to be afraid of being shut down? Is that freedom? When you try and shut people like me down, when you try and and you think you're protecting people, listen, let me tell you what you're doing. You either don't have an argument to answer these questions, or you are evil. Or you're so entrenched in your narrative, you can't find a way out. I'm telling you, Mr. Morrison. I'm telling you, Gladys. I'm telling you, Pastor. Just say I was wrong. I want to fix it. I'm not telling you not to stop people getting vaccinated. I'm not telling you that. But just give me the right. And don't incarcerate me and demonize me. Like those nurses in Sydney. I want to speak up for them. Those people were vaccinated. And yet the vaccinated are still locked down. And you wonder why we don't trust you. When they ban medical doctors, politicians, people like Craig Kelly, and by the way, shout out to Craig Kelly, you're a good man. When they shut down the likes of, or vilify others, I want to put a position to you guys, to those of you, those media people and everybody else out there and the politicians out there. When you try and shut us down and argue or shut us down, block us, number one, you strengthen our argument. Number two, you strengthen our resolve. Number three, you have no idea of how to persuade people. If I tried to do that in business, I'd have no business. Let me propose you do this. Why don't you get someone that this side of the fence trusts? There's plenty out there. Insiders, Paul Murray, Pauline Hanson, myself, the Palmers, the Kellys. Oh yeah, no, we're crazies, right? But you want us to trust you, yet you won't give us voice. I dare those of you out there, write to the Alan Jones of Paul Murray and have them grill all of them. They won't appear. And if they do grill, ask them for the real stats. Force the hard questions. Look, that's my rant for the weekend, and I hope it's not a rant. I hope it's something that makes you think. But just remember what I just said to you. They tried to bury us, but they forgot we were seeds. Could I please ask you, on Sunday morning, you can join us here at 8 a.m. for our message, and I'm not here to promote my Sunday morning. You can join us if you want. You don't necessarily have to. And may I ask you to go to my YouTube, press like and subscribe and that little bell there. I'm sure you all know what to do with that. Could you please share this message with people? Could you share it with your ministers and your pastors? And I'm not anti-pastor. I am definitely not. If any of you know my heart for the kingdom, I'm still around here. I'm not getting paid to do this. I'm not getting finances out of it. I'm putting a lot at risk here. And occasionally on this platform, every couple of weeks, I will be promoting my business endeavors. And I don't expect any of you to if you start criticizing my business endeavors, I will block and delete you as well. This is my platform. And we're playing by my rules. Now, with freedom of chat, that's fine. But vilifying, anything else, if you don't like what I say, get off my platform. There's plenty of others you can go to. Okay, now, I appreciate all your support. Sunday morning, 8 a.m., I'm going to be, again, continuing the answer towards this mess. And if you enjoyed today, can you give me a shout out or press one of those little hearty things or whatever there is out there, or a thumbs up. But can you promise me that you'll share this message? Promise me you'll get it out there. Put it on your Instagrams and whatever it is, and ask the questions. God bless you.